Welcome to the Yes I Can solo podcast. Yes I Can is an inner knowing you come home to, a supportive space for women navigating solo motherhood, sharing real stories and the inner shifts that help you feel steady, safe and connected. Moving out of overthinking into clarity, confidence and excitement. I'm your host, Betty Fertility, solo mum by choice. Let's explore the magic of doing it your own way. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Yes I Can, the Baby Dream podcast. My name is Betty, and this podcast is for anyone who is holding a quiet baby dream, wondering if it's possible to become a parent on your own, and looking for reassurance that you're not alone, because you're not alone. And here you'll hear real stories from solo mums and dads by choice, sharing their stories, how they started, their fears, and how they built certainty and came to the say yes part. So if you've ever asked yourself, can I really do this? This space is where you gently get reminded that yes, you can. Okay, so I am today interviewing Loretta. We're having a conversation with Loretta today. Loretta is based in Wollongong in Sydney, and she's got a wonderful story like everyone else does. Hello, Loretta.
Hello, Betty.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on today. And I just wanted to, I know Loretta through business, and it was so nice to actually connect with another solo mum by choice that is actually in the same network marketing business that I started off with online. So Loretta, please tell us whereabouts are you right now, and how old is your child?
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for giving me this time, Betty. I really appreciate it. So really, I'm so glad, like you said, that we connected the way that we did. So I am in Wollongong, south of Sydney, Australia. Right now, I'm locked away in a room while my son's being looked after by his amazing grandmother, and he is 3 years old. So he's at a fun age, really fun age.
Yes, so warning everyone, both of our sons, this is what happens when you're a solo parent. Both our sons are in the other room, so they could come through the door at any time, but let's pray that they don't. So how old is he now, Loretta?
He's 3 now, so at a very fun, I guess, demanding age. I think it's that age where they really find their personalities, and that can be challenging as well as incredible. And I sometimes look back and I think, what was my favorite stage of him throughout his years? And I feel like every single stage that he's been through, or that he's at, is actually my favorite. Because right now, I love that I can have a conversation with him, and he's really developing his own thoughts and ideas on things, and asking questions and all of that. So it's just really beautiful to see them developing. And I've loved every single stage, every single day
Yeah,
with
I
him.
know every time I say every age, I'm like, oh no, I like this age more. And then even now at 6, he's just turned 7. I'm like, no, this is my favorite stage. And you wouldn't think so. You'd think it'd all be the small, but it's like now he's really and calling me out on things. And I'm just like, wow, it's like I've got this little adult that's just expanded. So it's funny. I hope I still say that when they're 16. Go, oh, this is my favorite stage.
Yeah,
So
I think.
yeah, tell us, can you tell us from how you started, when you first started thinking about having a baby on your own? Tell us how it all began and what you were doing at
I
the
was
time.
a Okay, yeah. I was a full-time nurse working in a really busy inner city hospital, and it was around the 2020, 2021 um, phase in the world. And yeah, it was just that moment that I actually slowed my life down, even though on the media and stuff it was saying that hospitals were really busy and run off their feet. It was actually this really quiet, really weird time in the hospitals where we were just kind of standing around a little bit nervous about what was going to face us that day. And we had to go to work. We weren't able to stay at home and isolate like the rest of the world. We had to go and show up on the front lines. So it was a really uneasy time for me. But I also appreciate it so much because it allowed me to actually slow down my life. I mean, it was a busy cardiac ward, and we had people coming in with cardiac arrests and heart attacks, and it was just a really busy department. And we just ran on adrenaline. We never stopped. Even when I left work, I would be on call for emergencies. So I could literally walk in the door and I could get a call back to head back to work for another emergency. So it was kind of that constant lifestyle. But during COVID, it all slowed down. And it gave me that time on the weekends or when I wasn't at the hospital, it gave me that time to really sit with myself and think, what do I really want for myself in this life? I've spent 13 years or more really of my life dedicating that to other people and never really thought about what I wanted. It was kind of just pushed to the back. And I was approaching my 40s. And, like women, we have that biological clock and it
Tick,
was
tick,
ticking.
tick, tick, tick.
um, so that was also another thing in the back of my mind that I kept on pushing, like it's not the right time for me. It'll happen if it happens, like I'll meet the man, I will do this, but the years just disappear, as we all know.
Yeah, I feel like when you're in
So
the hustle, you just keep doing it and you forget that, oh, I'm actually, yeah, because you feel like I was the same. I felt young, but it was like, oh, but the window,
mm,
you've got, so that blessing for COVID for you.
exactly,
Did you
exactly,
think,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
it's like a
blessing in
question, like if
disguise.
COVID didn't slow me down, would I have still gone down this journey?
I don't actually, if I really ask myself that, I don't think I would have. I would have just kept on doing Groundhog Day, same thing over and over and pushing back what I wanted and what I needed, really. As selfish as that sounds, but in hindsight now, he has added so much to my life that I never knew that I needed. So, yeah, a massive
Oh,
blessing in
so
disguise.
amazing. And
Mm.
while you were thinking about having the baby at this time, were you dating or looking at, or were you just always working?
I
Like,
was always I was always working and I was in Sydney, I was on dating apps, but it's actually really hard to sustain any sort of relationship with the hours that I worked. Like I would get
mm,
called in at 2 a.m. in the morning and I might go out for a dinner with somebody and I'd have to have my phone out in case I got called or I would have to leave mid-dinner. So it takes a really special person, I guess, to understand that lifestyle and to tolerate it. So yeah, I was dating, but nothing long term. Like I was searching, would you say, searching for a life partner. Um, which, yeah, you just feel like you're doing that constant searching, really, because you've got your checklist, they've got their checklist, and it's
and then
just
it feels like the
sometimes not
pressure.
compatible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah.
when we're putting pressure on it, we tighten up, and it's not like free flow. And so can you tell me how you proceeded forward to the journey, and like what was the first action that you actually took from your thought into the first action?
I worked with a midwife, so she actually came across to our department from midwifery, and completely shifted her career. But I was speaking to her because on her weekends she would do some shifts in an IVF clinic in the city. So I knew that. So I just approached her and I asked her because I didn't know. I didn't know all of these first steps. Like, where do I start? So she obviously knew the process and she told me what you need to do is just make an appointment with this IVF um, company and go and see them and they'll tell you all of the steps. So that's what I did one afternoon after work, caught the bus into the IVF clinic in the city and had my appointment and spoke with the doctor there. And that was really the start of it all.
Was that scary, that first step?
Yes and no. I wasn't scared. I was a little bit nervous, but it's that butterfly is probably excited, nervous about
Yes.
this could be something, the start of something big, right? Um, so not necessarily a fear, but maybe an excited, I'm really doing
Excited,
this. This
nervous
is
for like excitement with like holy shit, like yeah, we're like you're going over through like on the what's it, the roller coaster. It's like
yeah, like is this
oh
the point of no
wow,
return? Yeah,
yeah. And
yeah,
how did that
sounds
all
similar.
that first appointment go?
Not as expected. So I left the office in tears, to be honest, because They have very strict criteria, very strict rules around who they could help within their clinic. So I didn't fit that criteria. I was actually, the doctor gave me a chart with a graph on it and said, your BMI is this and your age is this, and traced it right down into the bottom of the graph and said, so you have a 5% chance of falling pregnant naturally. So we basically can't help you because our clinic won't collect eggs or anything from somebody with your BMI. So left there in tears thinking this was it, but she actually did give me a referral to another IVF clinic that did have the, I guess, the facilities to cater for people with higher BMIs. So that was my next port of call.
Oh, I love that you didn't even, yeah, you didn't stop. You
No,
just went, you know what? You're not the right ones for me. See you later.
yeah.
Uh,
I walked out of there in tears, but when I recollected my thoughts, I actually thought to myself, my God is greater than your graph. So your 5% means nothing to me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And of course, I guess they're in the business that, yeah, they're some clinics, and this is why I tell some women is that some clinics, they just, you may be doing research online to see the success rates, but some only have high success rates because they only take, people at a certain age or a BMI. So you can never really trust it. And that's why I always believe it's better just to go in with the feeling. I mean, of course, when you
Mm,
look in there, of course, it has to be clean and legit and all of those things. But if you've got a great feeling, is that what you felt when you went to the second place? It's the feeling.
yeah, much, much different. It didn't feel as sterile, if that sounds um,
Mm,
like it was all very clean and beautiful at the other clinic, but no warmth. Um, very clinical and very sterile. So it kind of that did add to my nervousness as well. Um, and then the doctor herself wasn't very receptive at the start either. So the second clinic that I went to, it was in a little old house, actually. I'm a really probably like from
cute.
1970s house. Yeah, it was really cute. And the receptionist was beautiful and really accommodating. And you sat in like what would look like your friend's lounge room before you went in to see the doctor. Um, yeah, and when I went in to see the doctor, she was just beautiful. I actually cried when I met her because she was like, if your cycle is regular, um, then you can fall pregnant naturally. And she knew of the other company, and she actually said that she had a lot of clients from them that have come to her and fallen pregnant successfully. So
Right.
did all the
Oh,
tests with them.
amazing. It was like, oh, I found you. And how old were you at the time?
So I was 39 doing all of this, turning 40.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Um,
so, yeah, and from those steps, how did it all happen after that? And what was the timeline, if you can remember?
sort of can't remember all of the details, but I just remember for so long when people would say, like you have conversations with your patients as you're treating them, like putting cannulas and things in, and they ask you questions like, "Oh, are you married? Do you have children?" And um, when it came to the children question, I would say, well, if it happens, it happens. But then I would also say, I'm approaching 40. If I don't have a child by the time I'm 40, then I'm just going to let it go. It's obviously not in my story. It's not meant to be. And I actually fell pregnant with my son when I had just turned 40. And I had him because he decided to come early. Otherwise, I would
Because
have been
he
41.
Yeah, because he knew what you manifested.
He
You
knew
said,
what I
I've got
had.
to have the child.
I've got to come at 37 weeks, not 40. So he
Yeah.
actually beat me um, just before my 41st birthday. So I did fall pregnant and had him when I was 40. So I think that's
Yay.
pretty
So that
incredible. But
happened pretty quickly. So you had the appointment at 39. Then did you go into a cycle straight away to, or how did that happen? Because you had to go, you're researching donor and all of those things.
Yeah, so probably the story probably takes a bit of a twist there because I did go through all of the tests, the blood tests and the like checking all of your tube patency and that sort of thing with this second IVF clinic. Um, and in that time, I actually had a really, really close friend that I was sharing this journey with. And because it was lockdowns, like I didn't have that many people that I shared this with. And he actually offered to be a donor for me. So it took a turn, and because I'm a nurse, I know equipment that was needed. So I actually got my friend's sample and some equipment from work, and I fell pregnant after 2 attempts in 2 months' time doing that. And the second IVF clinic lady said, if you don't fall pregnant within 3 months, purely because of your age, come back to see me. So it happened before I needed to go back to seeing her.
Oh, because was the thing was if you try it yourself through, I mean, we'd call this at home IUI, I always for intravenous
Intrauterine insemination.
insemination. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you'd look at this plan B if it didn't work.
Yeah, so
Okay.
so plan B would have been us going to her and for them to test both sides then to see if there was a reason why it wasn't being effective. So
Yeah. I remember you when I asked you, I said, so what did you do? Did you like go home? Do you stick your legs in the air for 20 minutes? And you're like, Betty, and can you tell me, because I thought you'd use this is me and my language back then, the turkey baster, and you explained that it wasn't a turkey baster. Can you explain what you used? And I mean, you're the pro nurse, so you had all the mod cons.
well, I guess if I wasn't a nurse, it would have been a turkey baster. I know many women who have fallen pregnant with the turkey baster method, but mine was actually a catheter that I just cut the end off, and so it's a long tube with a hole in the end. So you
And
just
then because the hole is like it's a long tube, it gets higher up. Is that into the uterus? Is that what you were? Did someone give you that advice, or you just knew that that would be more effective?
I was just thinking through what I could use.
So good.
It's just a little bit
And
more softer and flexible than like it's meant to go into a urethra into a bladder, so it's made of a really soft silicone. So the idea of a turkey baster actually makes me a little bit nervous because they're a harder plastic or metal sometimes. But yeah, you could, yeah, a lot more
that,
comfortable, I suppose, and
oh wow, I wonder
not
if
as.
anyone's got a catheter line. Maybe this is a product idea for you. Joking. No,
Yeah.
it'd be awesome. And can I ask if you don't mind sharing? You don't have to, but so how, like after he had given it to you, did you have to go straight away and do the thing?
Yeah, straight away. So I'd
Like
done all
within
of the.
minutes?
Yeah, yeah. So I was tracking my ovulation, so I knew when it was going to happen, and just gave him the heads up that I would need it like this day, because the second clinic lady worked out according to my cycle what days that I should be attempting to fall pregnant. So in my case, my cycle was bang on 28 days. So she was able to say to me, okay, day 10 and day 12, you need to put semen inside of you before you ovulate. Um, and yeah, it worked. Two
Oh
rounds of that and
wow.
it worked.
That's so good. So she knew exactly. So it was day 10, and skip another day and day
12, because
12.
according to a 28-day cycle, you ovulate on day 13. So you have to have the semen within your fallopian tube ready for the egg to be released.
Oh, so when the eggs come out, that's probably when they travel faster that they meet the sperm.
Yeah, yeah, because once the egg's been released, I think the chances of it being fertilized is slim. You've got to have it there waiting, I suppose.
Mm.
So
Wow.
yeah,
That's amazing. I wonder, it really makes it feel like it's important to actually have, even if you're going to do it at home, to have a fertility specialist. Do you agree? Just because they just know a lot more.
Yeah, I do agree. Particularly even just doing all of your background bloods, like it's pages and pages of bloods that they do. I would
Oh,
recommend
it's
it for
so
that.
confusing.
It is very confusing. Like,
Like when
the,
you go, they've got all the acronyms, you're like, what the fuck? Where's iron? I need to know what iron is. I'm like, iron doesn't even have an I in it. It's FC, whatever it is.
yeah, yeah. Even as a nurse, some of them were lost on me. I didn't recognize a lot of them, but yeah, I just know that there were a lot of tests that she did. So I would recommend doing it for that. And I also did a high cozy test with her as well. So that was
Could you
a
explain that? Yeah.
yeah. So that was I just went to an imaging place and they insert I think it is like a catheter thing as well up into your uterus and they flush your fallopian tubes with saline just to make sure that they're patent. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Okay. So
yeah.
it's
So
okay.
everything, she just checked everything was good on my end for me to then go and try to fall pregnant myself. Then
Hmm.
if that didn't occur naturally, then she would look at both sides and
Okay.
then see. Yeah.
And actually, I've always wondered, would sometimes people that do the at-home thing, they take the hormones to enhance the fallopian tubes? Do they do, was that an option? Did she give you that option as well? No.
No, no. And I don't know if it's because my cycle was regular. I don't have PCOS or any issues there. My cycle was bang on 28 days every single time. So I actually knew the day that my period was due and there was no sign of it. I knew before I even really took the test that I was pregnant because my
Wow.
cycle was that predictable. So maybe that's why I didn't need to take hormones because my natural hormones were synced, I guess, with my cycle, and it was working every 28 days. So
That's
maybe that's
amazing.
why. I'm not sure.
And is that when you knew your period didn't come, you knew you were pregnant, or did you feel changes in your body and emotionally or anything like that?
Nothing, nothing at all. I took a test home from work that day, thinking, okay, it's not here. I'll go and test. And I don't have instructions because it's just a little cartridge from work. It doesn't tell you to wait 3 minutes for it to happen or how to do it. I knew how to do it because I do it for patients before they go into radiation in my department.
Hmm.
Um, so I actually went back out of the bathroom after I put the urine onto the little test cartridge. I went out of the bathroom to Google how long do I need to wait, and when I came back, there was two pink lines
Oh,
instead of
wow.
one. And I was like, oh, this means I'm pregnant because all of the patients that I've tested to make sure that they're safe to be in radiation, they only ever show one line, which is not pregnant. So, yeah,
Wow.
I knew then.
And what was your initial reaction? Like tears, freaking out? What?
Um, Probably both, I guess. A mixture of emotions. I mean, it was obviously planned and I was expecting it, but at the same time, I was like, holy shit, how did that just happen so quickly and so easily? And to be honest, my first thought was, what do I tell my mum? Because my
Oh,
mum,
your mum didn't know.
she didn't know. I hadn't told anybody. So that was my first thought because,
Wow.
yeah,
And so when
massive.
did you and how did you tell your mum?
Um, it was again in the lockdowns. So I actually broke the rules and I drove down from Sydney down to Wollongong, where my mum is living, to tell her and surprise her. Um, and I was just 6 weeks pregnant. So yeah, I think I
And
had
how
waited
did
a
she
couple of weeks.
how did she go? How did she react? And were you what did you say? Were you like, just being busy? Mum, by the way.
Well, like now that we like look back at photos, so I had sent my mum just a selfie one morning when I was in the recovery area at work because there were no patients there. So she's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" So I just sent her a selfie as if to say, "I'm just sitting here doing some education on the computer, mandatory education on the computer." And she wrote to me, "Oh, you're glowing," and I was like, "She knows, she knows."
So did she? Did she?
She didn't know.
Oh, so when
No.
you told her, was she just happy, gobsmacked, or
A mixture of emotions, I
yeah?
think, because there were a lot of questions. not answered.
Mm,
Like I was single as far as she knew. I hadn't shared any of my journey with her. I actually feel guilty that I hadn't now in hindsight, um, because I can like it wasn't news to me, but it was massive news to her. And on top of everything that was happening in the world at that time for a woman in her late 60s, it was a lot to take on. Um, so the reaction probably wasn't initially excitement. There was a lot of contributing things to that reaction. Like I've been brought up in a Christian home. The right thing to do is to find a partner, marry, then have children.
mm.
So obviously that wasn't in my story. So for me to actually come down and say, "Hey, I'm pregnant," that was a very big shock to her. So yeah, not the reaction that I was expecting. Um, but in hindsight, actually one that I probably should have actually been um, e- expecting. Yeah.
Yep. Though, for you, I mean, you not telling anyone, that was probably right for you at that time because it's a big thing to deal with, and you'd have to deal with your mother's emotions, and then also I feel like if you're not sure about what other people are going to say, you don't want that energy to affect your fertility and yeah, because as we all know, stress in like affects our health, about our fertility and all of those things. So
Mm,
maybe it was right. I mean, it is right because that's what happened. But yeah,
yeah.
of course, I feel like those feelings of guilt do come up. Like, when you go, I'm not going to tell people I'm pregnant until I'm 12 weeks or 20 weeks. And you only tell a certain number of people because, and then also as a solo mum, you're like, for me, I know I was a bit embarrassed to tell people and explain myself. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like, yeah, any order. Yeah. How many people did you tell before you told your mum?
Just one of my close friends, and
Yeah.
obviously the friend who was the father, um, and one other friend that I went to uni with, who, yeah, she was actually trying to fall pregnant herself, her and her husband. So I shared my story with her, and also messaged her about the test. And I was like, "This is positive, right?" Like I just needed
Oh
somebody to
my
say
God.
yes. So yeah, she knew, and my donor, my son's father donor,
Father.
because he
Yeah.
is very involved in his life. Well, not very involved, but my son will call him dad, and
That is so great.
he calls him, and we see him. So he's involved in his life, but he's my son. I make all of the decisions for him. So that was the agreement as well.
Oh, so when you were going through this with the donor, what did you set out? What boundaries did you put in place? What agreements? Did you have it like verbal, written? How did your whole process come about for you
It
and
is,
him?
it
So you had
is,
clear pathways.
yeah, yeah. Well, it is and was verbal agreement. And a lot of people that I've shared my story with since say it should be in writing, just in case legal things happen later on down the track. And I do understand the implications of it only being a verbal transaction, but that it is what it is right now, and that's how it came about. So we don't have any formal paperwork in place to
Yeah, and
say,
if it's working, it's working.
yeah.
So when you spoke to each other to start off with, did you ask him, did he ask you what your expectations are of him and vice versa? Did you have quite in-depth convos about like what does he call me and all of those things, or has it just naturally evolved?
It's probably more naturally evolved, where we have
Beautiful.
said, like, at the start, it might not even happen. So let's just see how it goes. Then when I fell pregnant, okay, it's happening. Oh,
It's happened.
it's happening.
Happened.
Actually,
And he's like,
before,
what the? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I think it was a shock to him how quickly it did happen for me. Yeah, it was a lot easier than both of us probably thought it was going to be, which yeah. But I realize now it was actually perfectly, everything was so perfectly timed. It was all out of our hands, really. It was
Yep.
in someone else's hands. And yeah, so we did have those conversations just generally while I was attempting to fall pregnant. And from the get-go, it was, if I do, I'm making the decisions. He's my son, because otherwise I would have gone with an anonymous donor. But because you're a known donor, I know that there are things that maybe we may not agree upon every single time, and there have already been in the last 3 years. But we have that relationship where he trusts me in my decisions for him, and that I am making these decisions in his best interest. So, yeah, I think we just have that understanding because we are such close friends that he doesn't he doesn't really interfere with how I'm raising him. I mean, he might mention some things to me occasionally, but I will just remind him, hey, remember what we agreed upon? He's my son. I know he's your son. But as far as all of the decisions that are getting made, he's my son.
Yep.
So
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. You've got that relationship there.
yeah,
Um, can I ask as well? So, what was some of the, or one of the biggest fears that you had, if you did have any, coming into being a solo mum by choice or going on this journey by yourself?
probably probably one, my family, and how do I explain it to them? Um, like again, even my brother was also another layer to that because he told me he didn't agree with how I was bringing a child into the world because his belief was that a child needs a mother and a father, not to just be brought up by a solo parent. So he didn't talk to me for weeks when he found out. So that was my fear, other people's reactions. Um, but now I wouldn't have that fear so much now because I realize that it's my decision, and to have somebody else's opinions and projections placed upon me, I realize now that it doesn't matter, like this is my choice, and your opinions and your projections have them, but don't try to change what I want to do with my life. So you just have to deal with it. If it's if it's an issue that you have, then you have to deal with it because it's not an issue that I have. So that was my initial fear, my family, my
Yep.
my close friends, because like I said, we were all brought up in a Christian home. I went to a Christian school, so a lot of my friends are Christians, and they're the believers in the whole a child happens in marriage
Mm.
situation. And I guess my self fear as well. Like,
Oh,
can I do this? Can can I raise a child? Do I have what it takes? Yeah, so I
and
think
how
that
did
was
you
the main
get?
thing.
Okay, so with the family fee, how did you get through that? Was it just a healing process or just getting into that process once you'd done it and then it was just clearing it, or how did you work through it? Like that you're telling yourself, hey, it's my decision because it is. How did
Mm.
you get to that confidence?
I actually don't know. I think it was just a time thing. And as everybody got a little bit more used to the fact that this was happening, I am pregnant, I am having a child, I actually said to the people who weren't supportive of it, you don't, I'll do this on my own. I don't need your support. Lovely if you can provide it and support me, but I am happy to do this on my own because I would rather be surrounded by a small circle that is supportive of my decisions rather than all of these people that are saying things behind my back or to my face that they don't agree with. So, yeah, I really appreciate honesty within people. And if you're going to be two-faced or anything like that, I'd rather you remove yourself from my life. So basically, yeah, I guess I don't know. I am a bit of a
That
cutthroat kind of person like
That
that.
that's good. I mean, they were honest with you and told you your thoughts, and now you set your boundaries and you go, thanks for your honesty. So, this is me. I'm going to just surround myself with people that want to support me or just agree with me.
Mm.
Yeah. And do some of those people support you now? I mean, yes,
Yeah,
of course, your mum, and the other friends. Did they
yeah,
accept it? And
yeah. They have. Obviously, I got asked a lot of questions, so I think once all of that settles down and everybody gets their answer to all of the questions, they're okay with it. But like it's you asking somebody else, oh, so how did she do it? Like, oh,
yeah,
do you know the dad? Like, does she know the dad? Like, did they have sex? Like,
yeah,
all of those questions, they want to
yeah,
know all the ins and
exactly.
outs of it. Um,
Um, Yeah, it's just, I guess, because it's not familiar to people. And then it's like, and you can always be like, okay, so do you think it's better just to be in a dysregulated relationship and have us arguing? Or, there's so many pros to having a baby on your own. There's cons as well, but not really. You find a way to balance it. But yeah, there's all of those things that get raised, and you're like, well, yeah, yeah. And
it's
and
human
actually, as
nature.
you know, the statistics, they've done studies like through Stanford University and so many other places that kids of solo parents actually are more resilient and they excel more. And I think it's such a great benefit because you've got one set of values. I mean, we've invested all of this time and money. Like a lot of people have put time or this emotional journey of like going through it all as if we're just going to leave them to rot and not trying to empower them with good things once we've
Exactly.
invested all this time and love into them. So, yeah, it's such a not an argument, but like a debate to like,
Yeah,
well, you
yeah.
do it, and that's it.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm.
And research
Yeah,
proves that they're grounded and they're emotionally intelligent children because they're not surrounded by that. That's one point that I said to my brother. Just because a child has a father and a mother, it doesn't mean that there's no conflict in that household. It doesn't mean that that father is a father figure. It doesn't mean that that mother is a mother figure. It doesn't mean that because they are a unit that they are a cohesive harmonized unit, does it? Like there are conflicts when there's two people in any household, whether it's
exactly.
two mums, two dads, a mum and a dad. So yeah, and then I just said to him, if you walked into a school, into a classroom, and asked the children who's at home, 9 out of 10 would say, "Oh, just mum," or "just dad," or "I've got two mums." Like there's no definition of what a family is these days.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, and he actually did come back to me a few weeks later. He called me again and he said, "You know what? I've had to think about it, and you are right. As long as that child is brought up in a stable environment, no matter who is there, then that is all that matters." And he said, "And I will support you as best as I can in your journey." So he
Oh,
had
that's
like a
nice.
complete turnaround once I pointed out the, like, yeah, once I pointed out the differences, but not the differences. It
Yeah,
was
love
him.
is a family. Family, yeah, love makes a family. And
Yeah.
um, one thing I find about a lot of donor conceived kids is that they're just a lot more switched on. Like because when you think about it, like just imagine you're a couple and you're always going, "Okay, dear, what are we having for dinner?" Da, da, da. And then the kid speaks, "Oh, what did you say, baby, darling?" Like you speak
Mhm.
on a different level, but because they are our only one, you speak to them more like an adult. That's what I feel like. And that's why
Yeah.
I feel like my son, I mean, oh my gosh, your son is so chatty. Even when he was 2.5, I was just like, who is this? Because they've grown up as on an equal level in a way. I mean, of course, we're still the sole carer and we set the rules, but we've had to speak to them on a level because they help us or if they want to get involved. So you're like, okay, just put that washing there and da da da. And then you're speaking to them more like an adult instead of
That's right.
a child and running around and after them all the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's yeah, it's so many benefits, and I don't think people realize how amazing it actually is once you have the kid, and then you're like, I mean, oh, that's what I wanted to say before. Like
Yeah.
with the two parents. you're both coming into a role you have never played before, most of the people, okay,
Mm,
unless they'd had so you're still getting into all, you're getting triggered by all of these things from your childhood. You're learning how to play in this new role and
yep.
all of that. You're trying to become a new person and deal with another adult and their emotions. And, and I know this with a lot of my male friends, they're getting used to, why does the baby just want the mum? Like, all of those
Mm,
things, and they're trying to compensate for how they're feeling. And when you're still trying to step into this whole new shift. But I think it's a blessing for us mamas or solo dads that we come into this role and we learn how to heal from this trauma and all of these
mm.
things. And then we become the person on our own, figuring it out. I mean, with the one baby instead of the other. And then for me, it's like I'll meet someone now that I've done all the work, So,
Yes.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
pros and cons and a different order to everything
Yeah.
for
There's
sure.
definitely more pros.
Oh,
Definitely more
definitely.
pros.
Yeah. And yeah. And how did you come to your confidence of, can I actually do this
Um,
as a solo mum?
yeah, I don't actually know. I think the
Give me some
the
hacks.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I think the confidence is in the doing. And just a couple of weeks ago, yeah, you like you just said, you're learning, you're healing as you go. And there is no textbook for parenthood. There are no answers. And what's right for
Exactly.
you is not right for me. It's not right for your son. It's not right for my son. So there's no textbook to go by. And I think you
Exactly.
just learn and grow, heal and grow. It's a
Exactly. And
process.
yeah, and you said it's in the doing that it happens. It's like
Yeah.
you just do it and you figure it out. It's like you can't, and people go, I'm planning for parenting. Yeah, you can plan for it, but shit's going to happen that you never planned for. And that's why I say when people go, I'm learning piano because my son learns piano, I went, no, you're not
Mm,
learning. You are playing piano. Because what are you
mm.
going to do? You are playing the piano. You're getting, the more you do it, the better you
Oh,
are. And you are actually a piano player. You're not learning to be a piano player.
no,
We're not
you're
learning
playing
to
it.
be a mother. We are a mother and we're
Yeah,
figuring it out as we go. So,
yeah,
mm,
yeah,
yeah, a lot of people hesitate because they're like, no, I don't know if I can do it. But it's like you make the one phone call to the doctor and you just go forward because every little
exactly.
step just happens. So,
Exactly. And I think we've had conversations too before because we are doing that healing side of our journey. We might snap at them, but we are learning. Like our parents, like I think you actually said to me, our parents never came to us and said, sorry, I really stuffed up. You don't deserve to be spoken to that way. How did it make you feel? And you're actually asking them
mm,
how they feel. Our parents never did that. So I think in our healing journey, we're also raising such a stable, emotionally intelligent generation. And I think that's the hugest privilege that you can have. And as a solo parent, you've kind of got that more insight into how a child perceives and receives your actions and
yeah,
um, interactions, I suppose. Whereas if you've got other people in the household, it can get a little bit noisy and you might not be as aware that, oh, yelling just a second ago has really upset him. And you might
mm,
not get time to go back and say, oh, when I was yelling before, how are you feeling? I think it's a massive privilege to be able to
definitely.
be raising that
Especially,
next
yeah,
generation.
there's more intimacy because we don't have other distractions as well to be
Yeah.
like, hold on, I've got to this, and we just focused on our little baby love.
Yes.
It's so
In amongst
good.
the chaos. I mean, it's not,
In a month, yeah,
it's
and of course,
not.
yeah, and of course, like parenting in a couple is hard. Parenting as solo, it's hard. It's just a different hard.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel so blessed that I've done it. And it's so yeah, it's everything is so rewarding.
Yeah.
It's I do want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you wanted to share for any women or men that are looking to take on this solo baby journey? Have you got any words of wisdom for them?
I think like the only regret really that I have is not doing it sooner. I mean, I told you that everything happened in the right time, in perfect timing for me. But now on the other side of it, how much joy that I have now in my life by having my son in it and not realizing that it was something that was going to add that much to my life. Like I'd be here for another 3 hours or a whole day telling you how much my life has changed for the better just by having a child. Do it sooner. If it's in your heart, it's there for a reason. And that's often like, it's scary, it's exciting, and it's your future self calling you forward to go into that part of your story. So my advice is to just do it, bite the bullet and do it. If it's what you want, doesn't matter about anybody else. Just
Exactly.
listen to your heart. Even switch your own mind off, because we talk ourselves out of things all of the time, but it's what's in your heart. If you just sit with that and it's what you truly, truly want for your life, just do it. I mean, it can be easy to say, oh, there's so much happening in the world right now. Why would I bring a child into this? But our children are actually born for a time as this. Our children wouldn't be coming into the world if they weren't created and built for what is going on in the world. So don't let that ever hold you back either. That was, somebody shared something with me when I had my son, and it was really comforting, because I was thinking all of this upheaval that's happening around the world. Like, I am scared for my son when I'm not around anymore to be able to protect him. But it was a whole big explanation. But because I come from a Christian background and I have a Christian faith, it was like David and the lion. Like, David was built to go into that lion and fight the lion in the lion's den. So it's kind of like our children. They're equipped already to be able to deal with and face what will happen within their lifetime. It's the same as you and me. We're here facing what we do in the world at the moment, and we're fine.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love this quote. The universe gives you who you are stepping into. So like like David and the lion, like he's stepping into that courage. He's going to give us like the challenge, and then also the good things as well to come through and the growth. But yeah, totally. But yeah, I love that. Just do it. Do it earlier. Just one thing. Just make the phone call.
Yeah, because like, if you delay it, and as women, as we age, and our eggs, like, we're born with our number of eggs, so as we age, they do diminish. So that's just biology. And if you delay it and think, oh, I'll look at that when I'm 35, it might already be too late. Like, you should, if you feel it now, make those steps to put plans in place and take action on it, because you might get to 35 and they can only retrieve one egg, not 20 like they could have when you're 30. So yeah, I would just say, if you've got it on your heart now, take action.
Just do it. Exactly. Or just go get your body checked out. Just go see the doctor. Because I know someone that I was helping, she goes, oh, I'll try in 3 years. And she went to the doctor. I said, just go check it out. She had polyps. And so it took, by the time within her work schedule, it took about a year to get them all out before she could even, so then she started earlier than 3 years to just go ahead and have the baby. And yeah, she's got a wonderful kid. So yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much for inspiring people today. And if you are thinking, if you've got baby on your heart, like Loretta says, just listen to your heart and move forward. And there'll be a lot more episodes in this Yes, I Can, the Baby Dream podcast. So listen to them, help other people's stories, because if they can do it, you can do it, and build certainty and know that you're not alone. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Betty.
And thank you, Loretta. Thank you for listening to Yes, I Can Solo. Remember, yes, you can. And the magic comes from trusting yourself, doing it your own way. If this episode has resonated with you, please subscribe, share it with a friend, or leave a review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm Betty, solo mum by choice, and I'll see you in the next episode as we keep moving towards clarity, confidence, and excitement.